New studio. How we looking?
The Zoom studio. Well, hey
The
everybody,
Zoomiverse.
welcome to the Probate Hero Collective podcast. As always, I'm Gary,
I'm Ray.
and I know it's a new look.
It's a new look.
Studio, you know.
Boys are suited and booted.
Yeah,
Zoomed
we're
out.
with on listing appointments today, so we had to come in kind of fresh.
Yeah.
But man, we have
boy.
a phenomenal interview, like we promised.
Yes, we did.
We said we're going to bring you guys some great interviews, and we are starting it off putting the bar really, really high.
Coming out with a grand slam with this one. This is a real treat for the
Loaded Bonds is at the plate, man.
Yeah.
Today, Ray and I are thrilled to welcome Mr. Ricky Mendez to the podcast. Ricky is an international speaker, consultant, and sales trainer renowned for transforming mindsets and driving sustainable growth, with a track record of directing over $500 million with a B, $500 million in sales. Now, Ricky specializes in helping professionals like you and me and everybody here overcome negativity, procrastination, and fear through his concept of mindset fitness. So his implementational strategies have empowered leaders across various industries to succeed and achieve lasting success. So without further ado, please allow me to welcome Mr. Ricky Mendez to the podcast.
Come on down.
Ricky, are you in here, buddy?
Where's our boy?
There he is.
There he is. The man, the myth, the legend. We got
There
him.
he
Right
is.
correct.
What's up, fellas?
Yeah, we're a little suited and booted, but
Nice. Love it.
good, man.
Sorry, Ray and I are not, we're not keeping up with the day's fashion. We were working today, so we had to play the part, be suited and booted, man. But thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to meet with us and to meet with our viewers, man. I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
And let me add, we went to that SoCal EXP rally, and there was a speaker, right, coming on stage. This guy right here got on stage, and man, he blew our mind because it was mindset, it was positivity, everything we've been, trying to speak on. And we loved it, man. This is a real treat. We're very honored, and it's a privilege that you're on here. So we really appreciate your time on this.
Awesome. Anytime. You guys left me the best testimonial. I've been ranting and raving about it. I'm just going to be in my next talk, so I appreciate you guys.
All right.
Anytime. That came straight from the heart. Like Ray said, you started off that rally with such a bang. I was fired up all the way to the end. It was fantastic.
We couldn't stop talking about it.
Love it.
Well, today, Ricky, we just want to run through a couple of questions. Ray and I have been talking about it, since we met you, and we wanted to, we don't want to drain all of your time. We know how busy you are, but what we came up with were essentially like the five most important topics, questions that will really impact other real estate professionals. So that's kind of what we want to ask you about.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I love it. Fire away.
All right. So we're going to start off with, in the competitive world of real estate, how can agents develop mindset fitness to consistently overcome challenges and stay motivated?
All right. So the short answer to that, for me, is really, really simple. 3 words: ask for help. Everybody wants to reinvent the wheel. Everybody thinks asking for help comes from weakness, and it doesn't. It comes from strength. But 2 things happen when I personally ask for help. 1, I'm going to learn something if they help me. And if they don't help me, that's okay, because it develops persistence to keep asking. Some people will help, some people won't. So either way, I win. I'm either going to learn something or I'm going to learn about persistence, one way or another. The second great thing is it's a basic human need. People want to help other people, whether we admit it or not, know it or not, like it or not. So if we don't ask for help, then we're depriving somebody else of feeling good. Now, when we do, and somebody else helps us, it makes them feel awesome. So now I'm helping them facilitate feel good. So mindset fitness to me is just start thinking about what we're going to be thinking about and being intentional with today, and not just being autopilot. Oh, woe is me. The world's in a shithole. This is going bad. This is going wrong. And then just let it spiral. To me, that we think about what we drink, we think about what we eat, but what are we thinking about when we think about? So mindset fitness to me is just that the number one thing for me is just ask for help, because there's so many cool things that happen when we go down that rabbit hole. So that's a really simple thing. I call it ask and attract. If I'm not asking for enough help, that's on me. But if I'm asking for enough help and people are helping me, guess what? Then it makes me want to help other people. And we're in that like thrive zone, I kind of call. Because if we're always asking and never helping, that's not good. If we're always helping and never asking, that's not good either. So it's kind of like the balance of the two. But to me, mindset fitness, to get out of the crap hole and redirect, is just asking for help.
Okay, I want to piggyback on Ray's question. Is it safe to say that there's a fair amount of professional real estate agents that carry some ego?
I would say that. I would say that's a pretty fair statement.
So yeah, for agents like that, and I mean, at one time in my early career, that was definitely me. You know, I was working with my father. He was a big deal in the probate real estate world. I thought I had it made. So for other agents that may feel like, you know, their shit don't stink, I'm not asking anybody for help, I'm going to figure it out. You know, what can you tell those types of agents to help them get out of their own way?
All right. So are we allowed to, like, how is cussing on this show? Is it allowed, not allowed?
Let it rip, man. We got 3 viewers and counting, man. We're on a roll.
I just got back from a run and I got my ass kicked on the ocean, so I'm sweating a little bit. I'm just a warm-blooded dude. Hence, you should see me in a suit. Okay. So I'll share with the story. When I started speaking, I was petrified to be online. I was like, who do I think I am? I don't need to do this. I'm going to go be a speaker. I'm going to do this. And the second I did this with my phone, I started to feel uncomfortable. And one of my favorite mentors said these words to me. They said, Ricky, get the fuck over yourself. And I still remember who said it. I remember where they said it. I remember how it made me feel. And I remember that day, all those times that I go down the rabbit hole of like, I don't need to ask for help, or I need to do this, or I'm good, or I got this made. Like, just get over yourself. Get over yourself. The world is far too in need of good people to kind of think we can do it all our own. And for the people that are just going to go down that road of just being like, I'm the shit and with the ego, it's not the loudest. It's the loudest people that usually need the most help too, in that sense. But it's the people that will listen. The whole, like, what is that saying? God gave us two ears and one mouth to think, or to listen twice as much as we speak. So the people that are always talking what they do and what they can do, I'm always looking for the people that are listening. And if I'm in a room where I'm talking the most, outside from being on stage, I'm like, crap, I got to start listening more. I want to be the dumbest. I want to be the brokest person in the room. That'll force me to level up. But in order to do that, I have to try to check my ego. And it's a constant game. Everybody, every single day, day in and day out, that's a constant game. So that's personally what I say to myself. Just, Ricky, get the fuck over yourself, man.
So that's the phrase. We got to make a T-shirt and a hat. Get the fuck over yourself.
Get the F over yourself.
There you go. There you go.
Well, I think that nailed it. The second question I got for you, Ricky, is about implementational strategies, right? So you emphasized the importance of implementation over mere motivation. So what are some practical steps that realtors can take every day to implement this in their daily business practices?
Yeah. Motivation, it's like a light bulb. It's going to wear out. And people are like, I'm just grinding away. I'm just grinding. I'm going to grind it out. Like, good luck with that. Because I don't care. You can grind it all you want. You can motivate all you want. At some point, it's going to run out. Some people might take a week. Some people might take a month. Some people might take 3 months. It will run out. So when we rely on emotional fitness and mental fitness, rather than just motivation, that's when we can play the long game, infinite game. I would say, so we all think like the world will reverse on reward scale. It doesn't reward scale. It will reward consistency. Our whole world is based around scale. So what I mean by that is, oh, I'm going to do some change. And I use this example because my business blows up at the beginning of the year. Everyone wants to get in shape. I'm going to run 10 miles a day. I'm going to meditate for 4 hours. And I'm going to eat lettuce. That's my new health plan. Because people think it scale. It doesn't. So in the real estate side, we know what to do. We know that we need to make a certain amount of calls or talk to a certain amount of people or get to a certain amount of events, to get to a certain amount of meetings, to get to a certain amount of closes, to get to a certain amount of income. It ain't rocket science. So we know what to do. We usually know how to get there, right? We usually know I need to go in network. I need to go to events. I need to make a certain amount of calls, whatever it is. And then we think like, oh, I'm going to hit 500 calls today, or I'm going to go to 3 events this month. So the analogy that I give is when you want to get in shape, go for a 5-minute walk. Do something to lower the bar. Just look, when you look into the neural pathways and the neurochemistry and all of that stuff, all it is basic chemistry of consistency. How do we create consistency? Lower the bar to create the consistency so it doesn't become so hard. That way we don't have to rely on willpower. I'll give you an example. When I first got into this, I would get my phone and I would read a quote. I just wanted to read one positive quote a day. That's it. That was my thing. I couldn't even freaking do it. I was like, this is ridiculous. So I got a stopwatch on my phone and I timed myself. And I read the quote, I hit start, I read the quote, I hit stop. It was like 7 seconds. And then I thought of what I wanted. Everybody talks about the why, which is great, but what is it that you want first? So I thought about the dreams and goals that I had. And then I said, I can't commit 7 seconds a day. Ricky, get the fuck over yourself. That's how low I had to lower the bar before I started doing bigger stuff each day. And I had to do that for like 30, 60, 90 days. And then finally it started to click. And finally, so for me, whatever it is, the metric that you need to do, whether it's calls, events, networking, handshakes, whatever, lower the bar. Make it like one event this quarter. If you're looking to make 100 calls a day, make 10. Make 10. Just lower the bar, create consistency instead of going after scale and then getting your ass kicked in a matter of time. That's regardless. That's like a life thing, not even a real estate thing, because we usually know what to do. So it's okay to lower the bar to create consistency is what I would say.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So take whatever your big goal is and then chop it up into these smaller versions of that goal to be able to build some reputation, build some consistency, create those neural pathways and that habitual nature. And then as you start to build those habits on those small goals, you can then move up and those goals can get bigger and bigger and bigger over time.
And those small goals, then take those small ones, turn them into micro goals. Take those micro goals, turn them into like mincemeat goals. Take those mincemeat goals and then turn them into literally nothing goals. That's the level of just what will seem, though it'll seem inconsequential. It's the seemingly inconsequential events that are cumulative. So take the goal, take it small, take it into micro, take it into mincemeat, take it into nothing. Like that's how low I'm saying lower the bar. And people are like, well, that won't make that much difference. Add it up over a year. It makes a massive difference. But more importantly, I'm training the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force the world has ever known to do the things I want to do on a level. It may not be this level yet. I got to graduate to that. But that's how, like, seemingly inconsequential moments, drive it down to that is how small I'm talking.
So just keep moving forward. Keep moving forward.
Yep. Yeah. 100%. You might, there's another saying like, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, stumble. Can't lean. It's like whatever it is. Is it not backwards?
Yeah. Well, this is a great segue into the next question. Negativity, right? A lot of negativity out there in the world, people turning on the news if they choose to watch it. But real estate agents, they often face rejection, setbacks, right? I got a listing, canceled, the deal fell apart, all this roller coaster, right? So how can they effectively convert negative experience into positive energy to fuel their success?
Yeah. Like anything else, it's a skill set, man. So what I have probably a gazillion of these little, let's call them hacks for lack of a better phrase. And everyone's like, oh, Ricky's just a positive guy. That's just him. And my response is no, asshole. It's a skill set. I work on it every single day, literally every single day. So, I think I have to think of an attitude of gratitude. Well, first off, I'm grateful for the negativity because it reminds me of how powerful positivity is. So even in that just frame right there, it's like, man, there's nothing somebody can throw at me that I can't at least turn. I would say this, in the way that we look at events, positivity, this is what most people say. Now I have to think of an attitude of gratitude when I hear this on stage. Write 3 things you're grateful for. That infuriates me. I have to think of an attitude of gratitude when people say that. And this is why. One, that's like saying, okay, it's easy to be grateful when it's all rainbows and ice cream outside. Awesome. Great things I'm grateful for. Cool. But why am I grateful for those things? I'm missing the juice. I'm missing the why. I'm missing the purpose behind that. I'm grateful for my family. Why? Because they teach me a great way to live and to love. That's why. That's the emotional part of it. But that's the easy side. Go to the bad side. Go to the challenging side. If anybody wants this, they go to gratitudepoem.com and download a template. So the one that I use is the thing that drove me nuts was a screaming baby on the plane. Drove me insane. I don't have kids and I'm not married, so I always apologize if people have kids. I say, when I'd be on a plane and I'd have my neck pillow and I'd be in an aisle, so I can sleep like a baby on the plane. And then they dim the lights down a red-eye flight. A wailing baby behind my ear would drive me insane. I'd be like, somebody turn that baby off, or I'm going to turn that baby off. Drove me nuts. My mentors taught me how to convert that when it's hard. It's easy to be grateful when it's all rainbows and ice cream. How good are we converting energy when it's hard? All those sayings and all those mottos and that fail forward, awesome. Do it when it's hard. So I wrote down on a little yellow pad, I remember writing it down and said, I am grateful, period, for the screaming baby on the plane, period, because it means that I can hear. And what about all the deaf people that can't hear? And they would kill to hear the screaming baby. And here I am bitching and complaining. So every time that I hear a screaming baby now, when everybody's complaining around me, to me, I think gratitude, scream baby, gratitude, scream baby, gratitude. So it's a neural pathway now that I have created because I got emotionally attached to the outcome that I wanted of converting energy from negative to positive. Now that can be used in any possible way. So house falls out of escrow. Okay. If I truly believe that more no's come to a yes, and I have to get to a certain amount of no's to get to a yes, that means I just got closer to a yes, because technically that's a no. I can convert it, but it takes practice when it's hard, not when it's easy. So that type of skill set is practicable every day, and I just have more levers that I can pull when the shitstorm comes to me of how I can reinverse what I'm thinking about. That changes, to me, how I see the world. There's no better skill set in business, in my opinion, than taking the negative and turning it to positive fast. I don't have to spend a month. I don't have to spend weeks. I don't have to spend years. It's not a temperament that I have because I'm aware of how strong I am, and I'm not going to give my power away to anybody or anything. So that's how I would look at that.
So essentially what you're saying is every problem has a solution. You can't have a problem without there being a solution, and vice versa. So the same thing applies. If there's something negative, it's only a negative experience because the positive experience or the positive emotion exists. So when we're faced in that moment where we're experiencing the negative, the positive exists. We just have to go and shift our mind to focus on that because it does exist.
Do we see it? It's the same problem can happen to two people. I see this way as a solution. They see this way as a shitstorm. The same problem, two outlooks. Gotcha. I think it was Phil Knight said, if all we see is the problems, then we're not seeing clearly. There's a solution there, but there's also something to learn through the shitstorm. So if I go through a challenge and I don't learn anything, I don't find any solutions, shame on me. Like, I'm a walking, talking miracle, and I'm just going to take that opportunity for granted. That's how I look at that. That's why I won't be around those people. Our energies will just take us a separate way.
Yeah, I get you. Well, to shift to a little different topic, which I guess it still kind of follows suit with what you're saying. This next question applies to leaders. You know, in real estate nowadays, everybody has a team. Even if it's one guy, it's the one guy team. Everyone's a team. You know, everyone wants to run a team, but there are a lot of great leaders out there. Ray and I run a large team. There's some of the best team leaders are within our company, EXP. Some of the greatest team leaders in the industry are with EXP.
Yep.
for our viewers out there who are team leaders, who run a team, my question is regarding creating a prosperous culture, because our culture is our brand, and our brand is everything. So for real estate team leaders, what are key elements in creating a culture that fosters not only growth but positivity and high performance?
Yeah, 100%. So anything business, I will always be personally, I'll always turn it back to personal. So any teams that I work with have, whether they're big or small, I want to find emotionally what drives those people. And it ain't going to be the money. The money's just a facilitator. And yes, let's make a boatload of money, because a boatload of money in the hands of good people does great things. The money is a facilitator. So on my internal team, I have Savvy, who I know loves trading. That's her passion. She wants to be a trader, and she trades every morning, and she knows when she's off trading every morning. That's a passion of hers, and to travel the world, she loves doing that. Sarah, I know she lives in Canada. I know that she wants to go do events. I know that her and her boyfriend want to move to the States. They live in Mexico. I know what her personal goals are. When their goals become my goals, not on a huge level, but just being aware of them. And when something good happens, I can bring that back to them, so they know that now I know that we're working towards a common goal. And then they know my goals. So it's all of us helping to facilitate what those goals are. Now, that can work on a macro level. It can work on a smaller level. If you have a team of thousands of people, there's something where I would have a community time and just go around and round robin and share, put in a chat, put in an email, something like that. And this is what happens really cool with that, is within that community, because I know your guys' community, and it's awesome. Other people will help other people facilitate their goals. They just got to know what people want. That's why, yes, let's talk about the why and what drives us, but what is it that we want that why is going to push us towards? And all this, and I love Simon Sinek, don't get me wrong, and the why is massively important, but we also got to know what the heck we want. So when we know what we want, those other people can start to work around and help them get what they want. For leaders personally, it comes back to rule number one: ask for help. I don't think there's something more powerful than a leader asking for help, because there's two things you'll hear me say all the time as a leader. I don't know everything, and I ain't always right. I need help. All right. And I think it's okay for leaders to say that and ask for it. And I'd say the third thing is what is the team like and what do they don't like? I put my big boy pants on today. I put my big boy pants on. I can take it if you tell me you don't like something. Come to me and just be brutally honest with me. I promise you I'll put my big boy pants on. But if you don't tell me the truth, then I don't know. I don't know everything. I'm not always right. I'm asking for help. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Because without that, we can't guide anywhere. First time I started speaking, I handed out a survey, and I said, what do you like and what do you don't like? Give me 3 things you liked about my speech and 3 things you didn't like. And because everybody was my friend, nobody put what they didn't like. And I was like, you guys suck. You think you're my friend? You ain't my friend. You're not helping me get better. How much better am I going to get if you just tell me all the good stuff that I do? That ain't helping me jack. So I have big aspirations to be an international speaker or speak all over the world. I can't do that without your help. And the only way you help me is if you tell me both, the good and the bad. So as leaders, I think finding out what is that emotional pull, what they want outside of work, asking for help, and then finding out what people genuinely like and not like, but being open enough when they understand that we put our big boy pants and our big girl pants on, that we can take it and we won't get defensive.
I just wrote that down. That was good.
Great insights. Great insights. So, sustainable success, right? A lot of agents, obviously that is the goal for most agents, I would imagine. But what advice would you give realtors to aiming for long-term success in their careers, especially adapting to market changes and maintaining, like you've been saying, growth mindset, right? To really keep moving forward, because as what you've been saying, it's a skill. It's a daily practice.
Yep. My personal opinion is in your guys' space is the biggest opportunity. And I speak to tech companies, health companies, all kinds of companies. In real estate, for whatever reason, it is one of the most emotional purchases anybody will ever go into. Ever. And I work with leadership teams. We set prosperity plans. When I work with the leaders or the teams, number 1 or 2 on their prosperity plan is own a home. Always. Without question, I want to own a home. You guys live in this huge emotional transaction that people save up their whole lives. There's pride in it. There's a sense of accomplishment. There's a sense of life accomplishment owning a home, getting that first home, that first mortgage, getting approved, getting the keys. And real estate agents, I feel, playing it so often, they forget how damn emotional it really is. The first home that I owned, there were 2 people living in my guest room. I ate ramen noodles for a year, and I shopped at the 99-cent store. And I was during stated asset, stated income. For all the youngins that might not remember that, but basically you go to the bank and you're 22 years old making $2,000 a month and say, I got $5,000 in the bank. I mean, $5 million in the bank. I got $5 million in assets. Oh, Ricky, here's $500,000 loan. Hence 2008, 2009. But it was so emotional that I had people living in my guest room. I was one of the few that made it. But in the marketing of real estate, if you want to play the long game, make it emotional. Nobody makes it emotional. It's all facts and figures. It's what I call a tell and attack model. And it's the one industry that is so emotional where the marketing is so unemotional. It's just this disparity where the industry is begging people to actually innovate. And when I ask people that, everyone says the same thing. This is what everybody taught me to do. And I've almost like been researching it, but I carry this stuff around with me all the time. I keep all the real estate marketing. It's all the same. It's all the same. It's boring. It's unemotional. It's facts and figures. Here's a very prominent woman I'm not judging anybody. Okay. Not judging anybody, but a really nice trifold. And it is all facts and figures. There's no storytelling. So if you want to play the long game, you got the real estate agents are dream facilitators. What about a picture of a family with their goal card standing in front of their first home and how they felt when they purchased the first home? Maybe it's a first generation home buyer. Maybe they grew up in the projects and their family never could own a home and they finally made it where they changed the trajectory of their family lineage. That's emotional. But for whatever reason, we never market that. So to me, that's recession proof because everybody wants an emotional connection, whether we know it or not, like it or not, admit it or not. So to me, the long game is on that emotional play, and it's a huge opportunity in the real estate game, in my opinion.
You know what? To touch on that, Ricky, I can attest how impactful what you just said actually is, because I heard you say that in Carlsbad at the rally, and it set the bells off in my head, and I was already rethinking my marketing, sitting there at the table watching, listening to you speak. And as soon as Ray and I got back to the Northern California area, I went in and started changing stuff and auditing my marketing. And I had this prospect that I didn't have anything set yet. Her and her husband were interviewing other agents, and I put together a little marketing packet for them. But I took your advice from the stage without you even knowing it. And I put together an emotional letter explaining where I came from with my family lineage in real estate, why I'm involved in what I'm involved in, telling some personal story about me associated with real estate. And I ended up getting the listing. Here's the postcards that just came today.
Nice.
Send out for that listing. And when I met with the couple to have them sign the listing agreement, the wife told me, we interviewed 5 agents and we chose you because you're the only one that touched us in the heart.
Yes!
Your story about you and your dad is what made the difference. You actually care about this business. That's what she told me. So what you're saying, man, is like, it's gold.
Thank you, dude.
Everybody listening to this needs to go audit their marketing right now.
Dude, I thank you so much. Like, that's implementation at its finest. And does that take 20 days? Did that take 20 hours? It probably took a good amount of time to think about it, but like, that's powerful. And I guarantee not only did you stand out, it was like night and day. Absolutely night and day when you're reading it and getting it. Like, now you have an aversion to them and they have an aversion to you. This is where it gets really fun. Now that will be vertical integration, because when you deliver your process and your procedure and your value proposition and all that stuff, Then you get a video testimonial from them. I bet you they're going to want to share it. And I bet you they're going to tell people why they picked you. And then that translates. So we all want more referrals, but we're so afraid to go to the emotional side. So that's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing.
I would not listen to you, man. So when I see you next time, dinner's on me.
I love it. I'm going to take up on that.
And, let me piggyback on that because, I mean, what you were saying, I mean, it makes so much sense. Like, I just hired a company to help with my marketing and all that, because that's something I didn't really do. But, one of the things that they had me do, which I was, was the ego. I don't want to, it was a story letter, kind of your story. No, I don't want to know about this and that. And I said, screw it. I blind faith sent it out. A lot of people don't know your story, and people resonate. Hey, my God, this. And so it was just the connection with people. And to your point, that's what people, they want to connect. It's an emotional, right? We're human. We all made mistakes. We all learn from them. So yeah, I mean, great insights. I mean, that is the long game, what you're saying.
And I'll say this too. You know what? You guys are going to be in my next presentation, and this is why. So most agents have what I call a block, death by text, boring ass, thesis long testimonial on their websites. Look at everybody's website. That's what's there, right? So what do I talk about? Video testimonials. On my next presentation in Central Coast, I think it's the Santa Maria Country Club. Amberly, I'll give you a shout out. She's running this event. What you guys remember when the video I put up there and I sat still and I didn't say anything for a minute and I said, tell me who sells me or Tom Bilyeu? And I shared Tom Bilyeu's.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the video testimony you guys gave me and I'm going to type it out and I'm going to have it as long as this. And then I'm going to play your guys' testimonial, which is more emotional, man. Like, it's night and day. But so many people don't play on the emotional card. I don't know why. There's just huge opportunities. So that's going to be in my next presentation.
That's awesome,
man. We're excited. That's awesome.
Well, that's awesome. And Ray and I've talked. We're definitely trying to make it that event. I saw the event. Right, it looks pretty awesome.
Nice.
So hopefully we make it down and we can see it and we can take it to that dinner.
Yeah.
But we've already kept you longer than we wanted. Your time is very valuable to us. But before we jump off here, you said it. You said you've worked with tons of companies, big companies. There has to be a company out there that you've worked with that can really impact and help elevate real estate agents. I'm sure you've worked with a company like that maybe you could mention.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, just reach out to me anytime. Whether it's a company I've worked with or individuals that I've worked with, I'm a big believer of being in the room, you guys. So I'm happy to help in any way. So reach out anytime. In the real estate space, the people that help me with my brand, even though I'm not a real estate agent, was Agent Image. Their website's marketing for real estate. They do all kinds of marketing. If you have any interest in any marketing, either contact me or contact Agent Image and tell them that you saw them at this thing. I'll send you guys a link or whatever. They did such an impact on me when I had to up-level my speaking. So they do websites for all kinds of stuff, but their main focus, they've been all the celebrity agents and like the Oppenheim Group and the Altman Brothers and all that stuff. But what they did for me was they got me to tie into that emotional side. And my site, you don't have to do what I did. I went on a full custom site and I went into massive storytelling. But what they did for me was like they allowed me to go into a space, and that website made me a bunch of money. That money allowed me to work in my passion, which is working with kids. So we do events with kids from kindergarten to 8th grade. We teach lessons of asking for help, kindness, gratitude, stuff like that. And now we have such an impact on kids, and it was Agent Image that helped me get there because of the site design and the emotional marketing that they helped me with. Now, not real estate related, but their whole thing is real estate related. So in my mind, they're design experts, brand experts, marketing experts, sales experts. So that's who I go to. And anybody that wants to do that, like, I'm happy to help anybody. And I've consulted with the company. I'm not an employee, just full disclosure. But if you go to them and you say that Ricky helped you, I'm sure they'll help you out or give you a discount or incentive or whatever it is. But I cannot stress enough how much they've helped my life.
Agent.
Yeah. And where can people find you? Where would you like them to go find you, and any speaking gigs you got coming up you'd like to throw out there?
Yeah, going to the EXP event it's not an EXP event, but it's Amberly, who's an EXP agent, putting on the event, Santa Maria Country Club on May 15th. You can reach me at ricky@rickymendez.com. One of my partners, Savvy, SAVVY, at rickymendez.com. Ricky Mendez Speaks is my Instagram. Just Google Ricky Mendez. You should be able to find me and reach out anyway. And if anybody sees this, just mention Gary and Ray, and I'm happy to help in any way.
Well, we'll make sure that we'll put all your links and everything in the video description, and we'll put the link for Agent Image in the video description, and I'm sure we'll pop you. We're gonna have your website and their website popping up on the screen.
Cool.
But man, Ricky,
what a delight, man. We appreciate it.
Enough, man. We can't thank you enough for being
here. We appreciate it.
Being with us, being with our audience. Thank you for your insights, around mindset and implementation and daily discipline. That's exactly what many agents, myself included, that we need right now. It's not just about succeeding in business, but to create and really transform our lives within this business. So to anybody out there who's watching, who joined up on this video and you popped in at any time, if listening to Ricky really lit a fire in you, don't let that fire fade. Take what you heard today and go and apply it. Contact Ricky, reach out to him. All of his contacts are in the show notes, because as Ricky says, motivation is temporary, but implementation is everything. So
absolutely. Yeah, and follow him on Instagram. Great insights.
Awesome.
Yeah, Ricky. Your energy, your wisdom, your heart, all that stuff's contagious, man. And it comes through you very naturally. So we appreciate you, and we hope to have you back again soon, man.
Anytime, man. I want to grab a picture. Get a picture in here. Yeah. Love it. Awesome, guys. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Take care, brother. I'm psyched about it.
Take care. See you later.
Bye.
And remember, your mindset is your strategy.
Until next time,
I'm Gary.
I'm Ray.
And this has been the Probate Hero Collective. We'll see you later.